welcome back to our Good Morning North Coast show. With me in studio, I've got Lindsay and Ozzy from SA Harvest. Good morning.
Hi there.
Morning.
Thank you so much for being in studio with us this morning. Nice and bright and early, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So SA Harvest has grown tremendously in the last 2 years. For our viewers that don't know what it is, what is SA Harvest all about?
SA Harvest is a national food rescue organisation, so we're all throughout South Africa. We're part of a bigger team, Oz Harvest, who is based out in Australia. And our aim is to reduce and ultimately eliminate any food waste that's going to landfill. So you've got 10 million tonnes of food going off to landfill. That's recorded at the moment, but you've got about 20 million people going to bed with hungry, every night, so it makes perfect sense. So we just, it's a fit for human consumption, which means it's within date, it's not expired stock, so it's just short dated stuff. It might have a few weeks or a few months. It might be produce or something that isn't quite the right shape or the right size, and then they just divert it to us, and then we redistribute it to our communities.
It's absolutely amazing. And I mean, you guys have grown so much within the last 2 years. I think you can correct me if I'm wrong, 11 million people have received meals, is that correct?
No, we on just over 12 million meals.
12 million?
Yes, and we do that on a national basis. But it's more than just providing a meal. We work with quite a few beneficiaries that are registered within our company, and we actually service them every week. So you build up that relationship, you really understand what it's like on the ground, and you become a conduit for other social issues that need attention. Yeah.
It just has a roll-on effect, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
And I mean, like a simple thing like buying from Woolworths, those My School cards, a certain percentage goes to SA Harvest, and that in turn allows for food to be served.
Yeah.
Correct.
And the whole logistics thing, I know it's not just we supply, you guys actually have a whole logistics team behind all of this. Tell us a bit about that.
Sure. Well, we've got a refrigerated fleet, and then we've got some other buckies and trucks. But it's a huge expense. People forget they just come and give you food and say, can you distribute it? But you've got to have the warehousing, and you've got to have the trucks and the maintenance and all of that. So yeah, we make sure that we don't break any cold chains with the food. And other than having the food and taking it to beneficiaries, you might have distribution centres phoning you saying we've got short-dated stock. So you've got to try and maneuver around, still servicing people, but going, but
making sure the stock and everything is still.
Yeah. And we move pallets, so we've got to have biggish trucks. But we do get a lot of support from partners in Joburg or Cape Town. We're always looking for more, though. If somebody's got a 10-ton truck or a 22-ton truck, because there might be maize might land in Joburg, but there's so much of it, and then we need to disperse it into outlying areas.
That's absolutely amazing. Just to try and coordinate all of that, it's mind-boggling, isn't it? And how big an impact you actually have on the end users' lives as well. And then I know that obviously we can come and donate, and farmers and beneficiaries and organizations can always donate, but it's not just food that actually needs donating, it's the fuel and the gas and the cooking oils and all sorts that we need to go in order to provide.
We've got forklifts as well, so there's fuel for the forklift. Sometimes if you've got a big order coming in, you need to bring in casual staff. So there's
a lot that we can do. And how can we as the public help and contribute?
I think there are various ways. You know, there's also a very big focus for us on nutrition.
Okay.
So we spend a lot of time training and developing the mamas that actually do the cooking for us.
Really?
Because we don't serve a lot of cooked food ourselves.
Okay.
We produce more of we deliver the dry goods and things like that. And we empower these gogos in the community to do the last mile of service, you know.
Yes.
And so we need there's a lot of training needs to be done. We're also developing a digital app at the moment, so that we can vet other beneficiaries and make sure that we don't break the cold chain and that they are properly vetted, so we can share that data with other people that want to create some impact.
Geez, that's amazing. You're actually upskilling others as well as you go along. I mean, you're empowering them at the end of the day.
Denzel Washington used to say, each one teach one, you know. I believe in that.
I absolutely love that. And I mean, how the communities get together and back you as well. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. I mean, the Sharks are involved. There's so many big players as well that get involved and help distribute.
Yeah, well, that was during looting. Hey, we ended up on a tent on an outlying field. And then when we were ready to leave, they're like, no, please. So we're moving back into the Sharks space, and they're going to support us, which has been cool because they're rugby legends, and there's a lot of other big retired guys that want to come in and they get very actively involved.
Oh, most definitely. And that's great. You need that too. You need that extra boost behind you as well. It's great for exposure. And how can I as an individual contribute? Where do I deliver things, or do you come and collect, or how does the circle work?
So that's an interesting concept. There's a couple of ways. One, we've done something that we said, there's quite a beautiful video on our website called Union Against Hunger, where we want all South Africans to unite in a peaceful protest around hunger and the inequalities in the food network. And another thing is, you might even know of somebody that's in logistics, or somebody that comes from a digital world that can help us with a bit of our user experience on our platform and things like that. And I always say it's that small little efforts that make such a big difference. And you must never ever estimate that ripple effect.
Yeah, the add-on that it all has, isn't it?
I think just for direct contact, there's the saharvest.org website, and there's a list, there's a tab there for beneficiaries if people want to apply to be a beneficiary, and then just some general contacts just to get in touch.
Of course.
Yeah.
So on the website, have you got an Instagram page, or we're more on the website focus?
We've got Facebook, Instagram, and the website.
And LinkedIn. Guys, please help contribute. I mean, it's such an amazing cause. What you've done in 2 years is just phenomenal. It's absolutely just fantastic. And the effect that it has, I mean, to try and eliminate hunger, it's a big thing, and it's a real thing, especially in South Africa or in the greater bits of Africa as well. We don't realize it. We take it for granted.
And I'll just say that at the moment there's an immediate food crisis. There's food going to waste, and there's people hungry, but those systemic underlying issues we have to address, and that's why when we create a healthy, trusting relationship, you can find out what the community really needs, rather than just giving them stuff that you think that they need.
Absolutely amazing. I suppose their communication, gaining your trust as well, is so key, isn't it?
Yeah.
All about trust and transparency. Yeah. We actually have a SA Harvest YouTube channel as well, where we've posted a lot of the videos that show the work we do in the communities, and it tells the story,
Yeah, of course.
So people should go and have a look at it, because transparency is so important at the end of the day.
Of course.
You want to know that your little bit you're doing is actually going to the right people.
It's actually going to the right people. What you guys are doing is absolutely amazing. We thank you so much for all your hard work and efforts. I mean, South Africa can only be so grateful for you too. Thank you very much for SA Harvest. We're going to go into an ad break. After the ad break, we've got Ashley Lazar from Trendy Gear, joined by Greg Rosewarne. We'll be right back.